Hey guys, it's Brad from B&T Catfishing Adventures. Well, 1 or 2 piece rods for catfishing. Which is better? I'm going to talk about it. Stick around. Okay, so 1 or 2 piece rod. Well, rods for catfish can be very, very long. And of course, they have a lot of times the extended handles. And these rods can be 6 feet, 7, 8 feet, or larger in length. So obviously, here's a couple scenarios we've got to think about when purchasing one of those type of rods.
Loading up the truck with the big catfish rod is not a problem if you're someone who has access to a truck. However, if you're a person who only has a car, things become a little bit more tricky when trying to load these large catfish rods. Many times, the outcome is, well, this. They go out the window with the rod tips.
Well, obviously, rod tips hanging out the window is not a great idea, but sometimes you got to do what you've got to do. It does put those rods in danger of potentially being broke, whether it's something that you hit while on the road or some mischievous person that wants to come along while you're in the store and just break those rod tips. Unfortunately, we have that in our society today. However, rods of each type have their benefits. Now, a 2-piece rod, and if you've ever used a 2-piece rod, you've been there just like me. We've all cast those rods out and have them come apart while casting. One of the most embarrassing things you can do, especially if you're on the bank and there's other people out there. Now, also the disadvantage of a 2-piece rod is if you're tournament fishing and you're casting that out, you lose it, and you might lose the whole thing. But usually our line is strong enough to be able to reel that back in. The tricky problem is if you get a large fish, there is the potential while fighting that fish that rod comes apart. If you're a tournament fisherman and you're fishing for money, you can't afford to lose that fish. That causes one issue with the 2-piece rod. The single rod is definitely a great advantage over the 2-piece in tournament competition. So if that is where you're fishing from, you definitely want to think about the 1-piece rod. Now, we can't always afford the higher end 1-piece rods that are out there on the market today. And a very important thing, in fact, this type of rod right here, I believe this is exactly the type of rod was used, the 2-piece rod that can pull apart. Just caught one of the largest fish, blue catfish, in the country, was on this type of rod right here, a breakdown rod. So to say a large catfish cannot be brought in on that is just totally wrong. It can. So if that's what you can afford, or that's what you need or prefer because you have issues transporting your rod from your home to the lake or the river or whatever, then that obviously is what you need to go with, is a 2-piece rod. If you have no problems with transportation and you can afford it, then obviously the 1-piece rod is the way to go. You never have to worry about the thing coming apart on you, and it is just much simpler in many ways. However, again, if this is all you can afford, a little tip for you guys with the 2-piece rods. If you're doing a tournament, what I would recommend is taking a small amount of tape after firmly putting your rod together and just taping a little bit around this area. It won't affect the action of the rod butt from being this far down on the rod. And it's going to keep it together so you're not going to lose the fish. So there you go. Both 1 and 2-piece rods have their advantages, folks. But it's whatever works best for you. If you're having issues transporting rods from your favorite fishing spot back and forth, then you may consider that 2-piece rod. And again, don't let people tell you that you can't catch large fish on a 2-piece rod, because you can. However, if you can afford it and you have the ability, then I would definitely recommend a 1-piece rod. But it's all situational, folks. We're all different. We all have different needs and abilities and finances. So it's whatever you prefer or works best for you. Guys, have a good day. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't let somebody tell you you can't catch the big ones on a 2-piece rod. Hey guys, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Also, don't forget that this June kicks off our jugging campaign that we're doing. If you haven't heard about it, click the link at the end of this video that talks about our national campaign to help other people through our love of fishing. Guys, we'll see you soon out on the water. Be safe.